right, and this little corner here is called my carbs corner. I've got frozen fresh noodles in here. I've got breads. I've got some contained bags of tortillas, muffins, burgers. So those are things like oftentimes you have to buy bread in a package of 8, a package of 6 or something, and if you're cooking for one, you're not going to want to use that entire package up probably before that bread goes stale. Freezer is your best friend. So divide that bag up, throw whatever you're not going to use into your freezer, and next time you're ready to use it, just take it out and just pop it in the oven. It'll warm up and taste like fresh bread. With something like this big loaf of bread, I'll buy, I'll go to Costco and buy like the big loaves. Freeze when I'm not going to use part of it, and freeze when I'm not going to use. And this, when I warm it back up, all I'm going to do is I'm going to run it under some water, and then I'm going to put it in the oven at like 350 for about 15-20 minutes, and it's going to be like fresh baked bread. It's pretty awesome. So that's another way to kind of, get some carbs into your meal, kind of always having things on hand, and also just not wasting money, right? Because you can still buy the larger bags of tortillas or whatever, and next time you are making burritos again, you're not going to have to buy a whole nother bag. You can go back to your reserves and use up the remainder, or use up the next 2 tortillas. With these frozen fresh noodles, well, these are always great to have on hand because you can always have a noodle soup. You can always have like a chow mein or a lo mein ready to go. You can do the same with fresh pastas. So just, buy them fresh, you can leave them in the freezer, and you can just cook them like you would normally. You don't have to defrost them or anything. They'll just kind of cook. They might take a little bit longer in the boiling water, but another really easy way to have these backups ready in your freezer. So again, really think about using your freezer as backup. And speaking of backups, this is my truly commercial backup corner. So this is where I keep the frozen pot stickers, frozen, some frozen pizzas, frozen dinners, because there are nights when maybe you do have backup, but you just don't have the energy. So it's really great to have these backups to save you the time and the money from having to go out for takeout and a mediocre, going out meal. Really save those for meals that you really want to go out to, restaurants you really want to try. All right, so a couple other things that I might want to point out in here. I've got some frozen pastry dough. These are really great for making a quiche, making a quick pot pie. Most people don't think of pot pie as an evening meal. You already have the pastry ready. The other stuff with some frozen vegetables, it can, and you pick a protein, it can really come together quite quickly. So that's pretty awesome to have this, ready to go. I have your standard ice cream and things. You have to have your treats. But yeah, I'm also, I keep a stock bag, and this is something, I don't think that everyone should have to make their own stocks, but if you do want to try making your own stocks, but find that it's hard to get all the ingredients together, keep a stock bag. So this is where you can keep like the remains of different vegetables, the chicken bones, beef bones, whatever. This is a bunch of, these are frozen shrimp shells. So what I do here is, after I've peeled shrimp, I put the shells in here, but I didn't quite have the ingredients, the other ingredients like celery and carrots, to make a stock. And so next time I have these ingredients ready, I will just dump this in a big pot with those other ingredients and make a seafood stock. You can do the same thing for chicken stock, just kind of save your vegetable remains, and when you've got everything together, throw it into a pot with a lot of water and boil it away and make yourself a homemade stock. It's really that simple. If you can kind of find the patience and the time to fit it into your schedule, I highly recommend giving it a try. Alright, so that's my freezer. Again, really think about your freezer as a place to go for backups, a place to go in the morning when you're like, I don't know what I'm gonna make, and just go look in there and see if there's something you can defrost, see if something that you have left over that you can take out and reheat for that night and repurpose it into something different. So this is the place for keeping those backups, for keeping the half a package of tortillas that you didn't get to, for saving stale bread, for saving things from getting moldy. Use your freezer, keep some masking tape and a Sharpie nearby so you can always tape something on it and label it and try to use it within 3 to 6 months. So those are my pantry essentials from my freezer.